Greetings, cyberdogs, citizens of the internet, and scrapsters from all over the world. This is Rendog coming at you from another episode of Scrappy Racers. In the previous episode, we built this magnificent Star Wars pod racer known as the Duck. And in this episode, my friends, we are going to be crafting our most ambitious Scrappy Racer to date. It is going to be a runaway subway train, and it is going to be freaking sweet. Now, let's talk about ratings for our Star Wars pod racer. It managed to get down the drag strip in 34 seconds. But I gotta say, man, of all the Scrappy Racers we have built to date, this bad boy had the biggest pendulum swing for votes from you guys in the comment section of the last video. You guys were either giving this puppy 10 out of 10 or like 2 or 3 out of 10. There wasn't a lot of middle ground from you guys. And I think that's because the handling of our pod racer was absolutely atrocious. But the looks were absolutely incredible. So I've given it an overall rating of 7 out of 10 based on all of the voting that you guys did in the previous episode. And I think that's a pretty fair rating for this Star Wars pod racer. As I mentioned in the intro, guys, today we are going to be working on a runaway subway train for our next Scrappy Racer, and it is going to be absolutely freaking awesome. Can't wait to get over to the scrapyard and start crafting with you guys. But before I do, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys who have been watching, supporting, and loving Scrappy Racers. This series has absolutely exploded on my YouTube channel, guys. I had no idea, I had zero expectations that Scrappy Racers would do so well, but you guys are blowing it up, something fierce on the interbubs. It is crazy how many views we are getting on this series. I just want to thank you guys so much, man. It's making me wake up every morning with happiness in my soul, and I'm just so happy to be bringing you a series that you guys are loving so much. And keep it up, guys. If you like it, smackety smack that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and of course share this jazz with your friends, man, because we got a ton more Scrappy Racers to make. And I know that I've been talking about potentially not doing Scrappy Racers anymore, but you guys have proved to me that you want it, and we are going to be doing Scrappy Racers for a while. So here we are back at the Scrappy Racers workshop, and I am pumped out of my mind today, guys, to get cracking on today's build, because we are going to be making a runaway subway train, and if I can pull this off, it is going to be absolutely pimptastic. But before I get to crafting, I've got a bit of a funny story that I wanted to share with you guys, because I lolled my freaking butt off when I heard this. This workshop that you guys see before you was crafted by my own hands. In fact, this drag strip that stretches all the way to the end of the map and the garages and everything that you see took me 16 hours or so to put together. However, my best friend Iscal85 thought that this workshop was a part of the default world of Scrap Mechanic. He watched the first episode of Scrappy Racers and he was like, man, that is awesome. I'm going to buy and install this game. He installed the game and spent close to an hour trying to find the Scrappy Racers workshop. And of course, he didn't find it because I made it. Oh, Iscal85, what a little cutie. Go check him out though, guys. He is an incredible Minecrafter and a fantastic human being. I'll put a link in the description box below for you guys to go check it out after this video. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty funny story. Let's get cracking on today's Scrappy Racer build. The sun is out in London today, guys, and I am in the best of moods that I think I've been in a very long time. That's thanks mostly to you guys. You guys have absolutely blown my mind over the last few days with your support for this series. But I'm also extremely excited about what we're building today because we are going to be making a runaway subway train for today's Scrappy Racer. And this subway train build is inspired by the metro trains in the London Underground. For those of you guys who don't know, I live in London in England. I am originally from South Africa. I know there's a bunch of new viewers out there who don't really know much about me. So let me tell you a little bit about that, about myself while I'm working on the chassis for our subway train. I am originally from South Africa. I've been living in London for about 10 years now. And when I first got to London, the first thing that absolutely blew my mind was the underground system. In my country, in South Africa, which for those of you guys who don't know is at the very tip of the African continent, we don't really have things like underground trains or underground train networks. It's just not a thing that we've got there. So when I first came to London, my mind was literally blown all over the place when I first used the tubes, which is what we call the underground network here in London. And I fell in love with the trains, the way that they look, the way that they function, how efficient they are, how amazing they are, and I absolutely love them. And I guess that is the inspiration for today's Scrappy Racer build. I'm going to try and do the London Underground train design justice in today's build. So what I've done so far is laid down the chassis for the train, and I've put in a couple of seats because, of course, in the London Underground, this is how you sit. You sit facing each other like this. It might be different in your guys' metros, but yeah, this is what a London Underground train setup looks like. And yeah, it looks like this Scrappy Racer is going to be absolutely massive, which means we might have to use a number of engines to be able to get full speed on this thing. But check it out. Why don't we put some handrails in the center of the subway train? So this is, if you don't get a seat, you stand here and you hold onto the rail on your way to work. So that looks pretty cool. Oh man, this is starting to look pretty freaking sweet, guys. Check it out. I'm using the duct blocks to complete the shell of our runaway subway train. And actually, this gives the train a feeling of the New York subway system. I've only ever seen it on the movies. I've never been to New York myself, but it seems to me like in New York the trains have a sort of a chrome silver look to them, and I think that these duct blocks give that look quite nicely. But it looks like we don't have any doors at the moment to get onto the train, so there we go. We're going to open up a couple of doors there. That looks pretty cool. But I think what we probably need to work on now, before we carry on working on the chassis, is exactly where the driver's seat is going to sit. So let's get ourselves here. I'm guessing we're going to want a bit of space between us and the passengers. So why don't we use these metal blocks over here? And I think what we'll do is put up like a wall, like this, right? There we go. A metal wall. Well, that is kind of ugly though, isn't it? Yeah, I don't like this metal wall. Maybe we can use a little bit of wood. Oh, maybe we'll use these tile blocks actually. That'll turn out quite nicely, I think. So check it out. Let's get a wall installed so that the passengers can't interfere with the driver, which is going to be me. And now we can get our driver's seat installed in this position. Train drivers are always like on the left or the right of the train, aren't they? But there we go. But the driver's seat is sort of sticking out here, so it looks like we might have to do extend the chassis a little bit like this, I guess. And let's have a look. We could probably get away with just a couple more blocks here. Okay, that's better, guys. Had to push everything back by one block in the train itself, but that has put our driver's seat in the perfect location here, and I think we can now work on the front of the train. And of course, these subway trains always have a very, very flat front, don't they? I mean, it's the most unaerodynamic design that I've ever seen. But of course, subway trains don't need to travel at the speed of light. They actually need to be more safe than anything else, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But check it out, man. Our driver's seat is in place, looking pretty damn sweet. I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to sit in there and actually see out of there. I suppose we have to finish off the build and actually do a bit of experimenting to see if that's going to work out. But we can sort of finish off the front of the train like this, and we've got a little bit of a problem down here, but we can solve that problem with some light action, I think. Check it out. We could get a couple of headlights in here, and I think that sort of solves the issue of these corners not connecting with each other properly. Yeah, baby, that is looking freaking awesome. Okay, guys, before we go any further on the chassis design of our runaway subway train, I think we should work on the wheels of this bad boy. I mean, if we're not going to be able to get wheels installed on this thing, we are wasting our damn time right now. So I'm going to try use some interesting blocks that we haven't used so far. And check it out, man. I found this cool thing called a metal support. And I think that looks really trainy, if you know what I'm saying. Check it out, man. It looks pretty cool. And actually, we might want to do it with the solid side facing like that. And what I want to make sure that I do is I have the wheels as close to the front of the train as possible so that we can actually hit that ramp, right? Today, I really want to do whatever I can to get this thing over that ramp. So far, the Scrappy Racers have been absolutely terrible at actually getting their butts over that ramp. So hopefully today we can change that. But check it out, man. Using these electric engines, because of course, the London Underground anyway is completely electric. So we're going to be using electric engines today just to keep it, keep it realistic, I suppose. That's looking pretty cool so far. It's got that underground or underneath train vibe going on. And check it out, man. We have these really cool big yellow pipes that we can use too. When I was coming back from work yesterday, I was having a look at the underside of the train, and they have all of these crazy pipes and electrical wires and cablings all over the place. So I think that actually looks a pretty damn sweet, if I do say so myself. Now that gives us more than enough space to have a set of wheels over here, and I guess we'll do exactly the same on the back side of things, and try keep it as symmetrical as possible. Remember, guys, we have to try and keep the weight of our Scrappy Racer as balanced as possible. So if we have a whole bunch of blocks in the front of the train, we have to have an average weight which is similar to that at the back of the train, and of course that's going to make sure that it is balanced on the road. So quite a lot of things to consider when we are putting this Scrappy Racer together, but let me work a little bit more on these wheels, and I will come back to you. Man, isn't it crazy what a little bit of pipage can do for a build? Look at this. It is looking so freaking awesome right now, man. I've been using this little block called a duct end, and it has this really cool metal pipe, and I think that that's really helped to add a level of detail to the wheels of the train that makes it look really realistic. Looking absolutely awesome. I'm currently working on the suspension for our train, and what I'd like to do is, instead of giving each of the wheels its own suspension bracket, I want to try and make the wheels share a suspension bracket, and I've got an idea to make this work. So check it out, right? We're just going to make a pipe that sort of connects itself in between our two suspension arms here, and from this pipe we are going to be installing our wheels using this really cool duct end pipe. However, as this is the front of the train, we do want to make sure that we'll be able to turn this bad boy, or else we're just going to drive straight into the barrier as we go down the drag strip. So I think what we'll do is install the turning devices right in this location. So we're going to add some bearings underneath here, and this is where we are going to be sticking our wheels, right? So check it out. We add another couple of bearings to the end here, and if we install our wheels in this position, look at that. That looks absolutely awesome. So what I was saying there is that this suspension beam, or this beam, shares the suspension from these two connections here, right? So these three wheels are sharing a suspension beam, and it looks absolutely awesome. I mean, that is as close to a train wheel that I think I'll be able to get in Scrap Mechanic. This could just be me, but I think this is turning out to be potentially the most awesome Scrappy Racer we've ever made. Look how sweet this thing is, guys. I've just installed all of the wheels, finished installing the back wheels over here, and of course, the back wheels don't have any rotating bearings. We only have the front 6 wheels that are going to be able to turn. The back wheels are going to stay completely straight. But guys, I'm super excited because I want to get this thing out into the open. I want to test its weight on the suspension to see whether the suspension is going to be able to take it. From what I can see so far, this looks like it is going to be a super heavy Scrappy Racer, and I just hope we have the engine power to be able to get ourselves down this drag strip. But there we go, man. Look at that. That is looking freaking awesome. Okay, let's get rid of the lift and see if our wheels are going to be able to withstand this weight. Bam! Oh, okay. There seems to be some seriously weird compression going on around over here. I think I haven't connected the blocks properly here, but that actually doesn't look too bad. We don't have too much compression happening. Okay, well, let me try fix this up, guys, and I'll bring you back in a second. Right, next steps are to build up the walls of our subway train, and I'm just using this long duct block, which is really cool. What I'd like to do now is try and figure out how we're going to get some windows into this train. You know, the subway trains in London They have really nice big windows. I've never understood why they have windows, because the trains are underground, and when you look out the window, all you see is the wall of the tunnel. It's kind of strange. But anyway, this subway train is going to be above ground, of course, and we would like our passengers who are literally going to be jazzing in their pants from fear to be able to look outside the window. I think that's the least that we can do for them as we hurtle down the drag strip at a breakneck speed. Am I right, my friends? But anyway, check it out. It's starting to look pretty cool. And yeah, building up the walls and trying to figure out where the windows are going to be. I guess we could do a bit of experimenting on this side of things. Check it out. We've got a solid wall over here looking very much like that New York Metro train system. Very, very cool. Maybe we could try and get some windows in here. So check it out. We could just get a couple of windows. Maybe we just take just remove some of the blocks like that, right? And that adds a really nice little window we can see inside there. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Are we scrappy racing in the streets of New York today, my friends? I don't know, man, but this thing is really starting to look like one of those New York metro trains, isn't it? Looks really cool. I'm currently working on the window design for the cabin of our subway train, and it's kind of tricky because I don't want you to be able to see inside of the ducts like this, right? It's really quite ugly. So what I'm trying to do here is use these smaller duct blocks to hide the shame, I suppose, of the inside. And the way that I'm doing this is, I think I did it on the other side quite well. Yeah, you see over here, you can actually do it so that you can't see the shame from the outside. And let me see if I can actually do it over here. No, we're going to just have to turn it around. Oh, come on, you bastard. There we go. That's the one. So there we go. Check it out, right? That sort of hides it and makes it look like it's solid. So I need to do that for all of the windows above and below the windows. So quite a lot of work still to do, but we are getting there. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Welcome back, guys. I've been working my ass off on the subway train, and it is coming together something fierce. Look how freaking sweet this thing is looking. I've been working on the windscreen here, or the front side of the train, which is one of the last things that we need to achieve. Check it out. The windows are looking really cool. I love the line of it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It really has that New York subway feel to it, which is amazing. But we just have a few more bits of detail to finish off here, guys, and we're then going to be ready to hurtle ourselves down this track at breakneck speed, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I feel sorry for my passengers, though. You know, they get into the train, think that they're going to work today. Unfortunately, I got a bit of a surprise for them. It ain't going to be the pleasant trip that they were hoping for. Anyway, looking sweet. Got a few more things to finish off, guys, including the back of this metro and the roof too. So let's keep going, and it's almost time for some Scrappy Racing. Well, if that doesn't look like a deadly-ass Scrappy Racer subway train, then I don't know what does. That is looking absolutely awesome. Just finished the front of the train, guys. I think it looks really cool. Also finished the back. It's got an emergency exit, which these passengers are certainly going to need today. And all we need to do to finish this subway train off is the roof. And I thought we could try and use these really cool metal column blocks to finish off the roof. And I think that looks pretty cool. But what I would like to do also is add a bit of detail to the roof too. You know, a lot of trains have their air conditioning systems and whatnot on top of their roofs, or for the trains that I've seen anyway. And I thought maybe we could try and do something with this really cool wiring over here, right? This looks pretty cool. So check it out. I want to add perhaps that like that, and then maybe we could get a little bit of orange into the build just to break up the silverness of it. And I think this adds to break up the super flatness of the roof also. I think that looks really cool. Check it out. We might be able to use some more of this duct actually just to finish the build off. Oh, come on, guys. You know that I can't resist, man. I absolutely love this valve block. I had to get it into this build somewhere. I've stuck it at the front of the train in this really cool little, I don't even know what it is, okay? It's some sort of air conditioning system that's on top of the train. And over here we have some sort of, I don't know, power control mechanism at the back of the train. But what that does is help to break up the flatness of the roof. And I gotta say, man, this thing is looking absolutely freaking awesome. Let's just get rid of these boxes so that we can get a nice full view of our subway train. Let's get it up off its lift. Actually, you know what? Let's get it off the lift for now. Boom. Look at that. That is looking insanely awesome. Okay, there's only one more thing for us to do, guys, and that is to get this bad boy wired up. And yeah, as you can see, I've made a go at it already. It's going to be quite complicated. So we've got our steering wheel over here. We're going to connect our steering wheel up to our bearings in our front wheels that we set up at the beginning of the episode. So let's get those connected like this. Actually, I think we might have a problem. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so now the steering wheel is controlling all 6 of these wheels. We're going to have to right click on them though, just to make sure that they turn in the correct direction. Okay, steering wheel has been hooked up, guys. Looking good. Now what we need to do, of course, is get our engines connected to the wheels. And I think what we'll do is we'll give each set of 3 wheels its own engine, right? So this electric engine will connect to these 3 wheels like this. And the same thing will happen all the way around the subway train. And that should hopefully give us enough gas to get this giant Scrappy Racer down the drag strip. And I reckon we set our electric engines to full freaking blast. Oh no! Derps! Okay, my bad. Yep. Forgot to connect the engines to the steering wheel. Don't forget to do that, guys, or your Scrappy Racers will race off by themselves into the sunset. My favorite part of Scrappy Racers is approaching, guys. It is almost time to go hurtling down this drag strip in our subway train. And I am actually really proud of how it's turned out. It is looking so freaking awesome. I can't believe it, man. It turned out so freaking nice. Let me just make sure that all of the engines are set to full blast. I think we're gonna need as much power as we can possibly get to get ourselves to the ramp. And of course, to get ourselves over the ramp, which is the most important part of today's episode. But anyway, I think our train is ready to rumble. Let's see if we can actually get in there. Oh, we are in. Oh man, look at this. Okay, let's do a little bit of reverse action. Whoa, okay. Looks like we have a lot of power coming out of our electric engines. Let's do a little bit of backing up. Wow, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're going to have to do a little bit of test running here, guys, to try and figure out whether this is too much power for our electric engines. Tickets, please. Train departs in 1 minute. Welcome back, guys. Check it out, man. We are in the train looking badass, and this thing is ready to rumble. I've configured all of the bearings to face in the correct directions. I've set all of our electric engines to 100% output, and we are ready for some initial test drives of this sucker. I have discovered, though, that we do have quite a lot of power, as you can see, and I think we might need to dampen the output of our engines. I think 100% might be too much, but let me see if I can actually get this subway train on the drag strip and see if we can do a preliminary test down the stretch here. Wow, there is so much power in this thing. It is a freaking crazy. Okay, there we go. We're kind of facing in the right direction. Let's get into the driver's seat and let's kick this sucker into full blast. Oh, baby, look at this. Okay, the handling actually isn't too bad. Feeling pretty good. Ooh, it's a little bit unstable. Okay, looking pretty good. A little bit hard to handle inside of the cockpit. Let's do it from out here. So, if we bust the accelerator to full blast, let's see what happens, okay? Let's just get in a better line here. Okay, so we bust into full blast. It kind of lifts the front, but not too bad. Oh, okay. It looks pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I think we're going to be able to get down this track in one piece. Man, this might actually be the best run we've ever done. Ladies and gentlemen and scrapsters from all over the world, welcome to the 4th Scrappy Race of 2016. Drivers, start your engines. DJ, burn that record. Let the race begin in 3, 2, 1, go! And we're off, my friends, for our 4th Scrappy race in the series in our subway train Scrappy Racer. And so far, the handling has been absolutely amazing. This thing is hugging the road like nobody's business. We do not have a lot of speed though. It feels like we're quite sluggish, but that might be because we're really, really big. Let's try get a better view of the mechanics of our beautiful Scrappy Racer. Look at this, man. Hands off the steering wheel and we're still going perfectly straight. The handling is absolutely amazing. And there is the finish line. Oh, bam! Our subway train is over the finish line. Just one more thing to do, and that is, of course, to hit this ramp with a vengeance. Can we do it? Come on, train. Yes, we did it. Airtime, baby. Nice. Oh man, that was an absolutely amazing race and a fantastic episode, guys. I had so much fun today. I hope you have enjoyed it too. I am going to give this marvelous subway train Scrappy Racer a 9 out of 10 for design, a 10 out of 10 for handling, and a 6 out of 10 for speed. So that's going to average me out around 7 or 8, I guess, for the Scrappy Racer. But of course, it's going to be all up to you guys to decide whether or not this subway train should get a garage or end up in the scrap heap. So guys, you can vote for today's Scrappy Racer by using the YouTube poll in the top right hand corner of the video or in the comment section below, and I can't wait to see what you guys thought about today's Scrappy Racer. I think it turned out absolutely fan-freaking-tastic, baby. Well, that about does it from me today, my friends. I really hope you have enjoyed today's episode, and again, a massive thank you for the amazing amount of love and support you guys are giving to the Scrappy Racer series. I'm delighted to have all of you new subscribers, and if you are new to the Rendog channel from Scrap Mechanic, why don't you go check out my channel after this video? I do a whole bunch of Minecraft videos and a bunch of other sweet games too, so you might find something that you like. You never freaking know. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I literally cannot wait to see you all in the next episode of Scrappy Racers.